Did the Cowboys just shake the entire NFL with one trade update? Reports are surfacing that Dallas has made a move or is on the verge of one that insiders didn't see coming. Some executives around the league are reportedly stunned by the direction this could take. Others think it's classic Cowboys smoke meant to build leverage. So what's the truth behind this bombshell? Is this a bold all-in swing, or a calculated chess move flying under the radar? One specific detail in this update changes the entire outlook, and if it's accurate, Dallas may have just altered the offseason landscape. The Dallas Cowboys just dropped a bombshell trade update that has the entire league buzzing, and if you thought this offseason was going to be quiet in Dallas, think again. What we're hearing right now could completely reshape the NFC, and it's the kind of move that sends shockwaves through front offices from Philadelphia to San Francisco. This isn't just another rumor floating around social media. This is serious smoke, and where there's smoke in the NFL, there's usually fire. Over the last few days, insiders close to the organization have been hinting that the Cowboys are aggressively exploring a blockbuster trade scenario. Not a minor depth piece. Not a late-round pick swap. We're talking about a move that would instantly change expectations for this team heading into the season. And when the Cowboys get aggressive, the entire NFL pays attention. For months, fans of the Dallas Cowboys have been asking the same question. Is this front office finally ready to push all the chips in? After another roller coaster season filled with high expectations and frustrating moments, there's been growing pressure on ownership and the front office to make a bold statement. And now, it looks like they might be ready to do exactly that. League executives are reportedly stunned at how serious Dallas is about upgrading key positions through trade rather than waiting on the draft alone. That tells you something about urgency. This is not a team thinking 3 years down the road. This is a franchise that believes it has a window right now, and windows in the NFL close fast. When you look at the NFC landscape, it's easy to see why this move would cause panic. Teams like the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers have set the standard in recent years. The Detroit Lions are rising. The Green Bay Packers are building something dangerous. If Dallas wants to stay in that conversation, they can't afford to stand still. Sources suggest the Cowboys have been in talks centered around acquiring a true impact player at a premium position. Whether that's a dominant defensive tackle who can collapse the pocket, a lockdown corner who can neutralize elite receivers, or even a playmaking wide receiver to give Dak Prescott another weapon, the message is clear. Dallas wants star power. And let's talk about Dak Prescott for a moment. Fair or not, he remains one of the most scrutinized quarterbacks in football. Every playoff loss magnifies the criticism. Every turnover becomes headline news. But one thing is undeniable. When Dak has protection and playmakers, this offense can be explosive. So imagine what happens if the Cowboys add another elite piece around him. Inside the building, there's reportedly a strong belief that this roster is closer than the outside world thinks. The coaching staff sees the flashes. They see the stretches where the defense looks suffocating and the offense looks unstoppable. The problem has been consistency in the biggest moments. That's where a blockbuster trade can tilt the balance. Around the league, rival executives are reportedly surprised at how willing Dallas might be to part with significant draft capital. Historically, the Cowboys have valued their picks. But there are times when proven talent outweighs potential. If this front office believes a specific player can be the missing piece, they may not hesitate. And here's what makes this even more interesting. The Cowboys are not operating in desperation. They're operating in calculation. There's a difference. Desperate teams make reckless moves. Calculated teams identify a precise weakness and attack it. From everything we're hearing, Dallas has identified a target and is quietly laying the groundwork. Imagine the message that sends to the locker room. When players see the front office invest aggressively, it changes the energy. It tells veterans that management believes in them. It tells young stars that the organization is committed to winning now. That kind of move can galvanize an entire roster. Fans are already speculating about possible names. Social media is exploding with trade machine screenshots and hypothetical packages. But what stands out is how confident insiders sound when discussing Dallas' intent. This doesn't feel like casual due diligence. This feels like preparation for impact. One league source described the Cowboys' approach as unusually assertive. That word matters. Assertive teams dictate the market. They don't wait around for opportunities to fall into their lap. They create them. If Dallas is truly taking that stance, the rest of the NFC needs to be on alert. Let's break down why this matters so much. The NFC is wide open in a way it hasn't been in years. While there are strong contenders, there isn't an unbeatable juggernaut. A single transformative addition could swing the balance of power. And the Cowboys know that. Think about what happened when teams like the Los Angeles Rams went all in and traded for stars. The league questioned the price. Critics called it reckless. And then they hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. Now, no one remembers the draft picks they gave up. They remember the ring. That's the kind of calculus Dallas might be considering. Championships are rare. Windows are fragile. And if you believe you're one piece away, sometimes you have to take the leap. There's also the psychological impact across the league. When the Cowboys make a bold move, it reverberates. Love them or hate them, they're one of the most watched franchises in sports. A blockbuster trade doesn't just upgrade their roster. It shifts narratives. For years, critics have labeled Dallas as talented but not ruthless enough in roster construction. This trade update suggests a different mentality. It suggests a front office that understands the urgency of the moment. We also have to consider the defensive side of the ball. The Cowboys' defense has shown stretches of dominance, especially when generating pressure. But against elite playoff teams, controlling the line of scrimmage becomes everything. Adding a dominant interior presence, or another disruptive force could elevate this unit from very good to terrifying. Imagine opposing quarterbacks preparing for a Dallas defense that just added another elite playmaker. Protection schemes would shift. Offensive coordinators would lose sleep. That's the ripple effect of a true impact acquisition. On offense, the possibilities are just as intriguing. Another explosive weapon could stretch defenses beyond their limits. It could open up the running game. It could give Dak a security blanket in high-pressure situations. It could transform third downs from stressful to automatic. And here's the part that has the league shocked. The Cowboys are reportedly not just monitoring one scenario. They have multiple contingency plans. That level of preparation suggests serious intent. They're not gambling on a single outcome. They're positioning themselves to strike when the timing is right. Timing is everything in the NFL trade market. Injuries, contract disputes, cap situations, all of it creates opportunities. If Dallas is patient but ready, they could capitalize when another team feels pressure. We've seen this franchise take heat for being conservative in the past. But this moment feels different. The tone coming from insiders is confident, almost defiant. As if the Cowboys are tired of being close. Tired of hearing about potential. Tired of watching other teams celebrate. Imagine the headline if this trade becomes official. Imagine the reaction shows. The debates. The instant analysis. The NFC playoff picture would be redrawn overnight. And make no mistake. Moves like this aren't just about talent. They're about belief. They're about signaling to the locker room that management is willing to match the player's commitment. When veterans see that kind of investment, it can elevate focus and accountability. Of course, every blockbuster trade carries risk. Draft picks could turn into stars elsewhere. The new acquisition could struggle to adapt. Chemistry always matters. But standing still carries risk too. In a hyper-competitive conference, inaction can be just as dangerous as aggression. From a strategic standpoint, Dallas appears to be weighing the long-term implications carefully. Cap flexibility, contract structures, and future extensions all factor into this equation. This isn't a move made on impulse. It's the product of weeks of internal debate and scouting evaluation. League insiders have noted that the Cowboys front office has been unusually active in conversations with multiple teams. That kind of engagement doesn't happen without purpose. It suggests groundwork has already been laid. As fans, this is the kind of moment that defines an offseason. It's the difference between hope and expectation, between running it back and rewriting the script. If this trade materializes, it won't just be a headline. It will be a statement. A declaration that the Dallas Cowboys are done waiting for things to break their way. And here's what makes it even more dramatic. Rival teams didn't expect this level of aggression. Some executives reportedly believed Dallas would focus primarily on internal development and the draft. Instead, they're staring at the possibility of a seismic shift. The shock around the league tells you everything. When competitors are surprised, it means you've kept your intentions quiet. It means you've operated strategically. In the coming days, all eyes will be on Dallas. Every rumor will be dissected. Every insider report will be amplified. But the underlying truth remains the same. The Cowboys are positioning themselves for something big. Whether it's a superstar defender, a dynamic offensive weapon, or a multiplayer package that reshapes depth across the roster, this bombshell trade update has changed the conversation. The NFC has been put on notice. The message from Dallas is clear. They believe the time is now. And if this move goes through, don't be surprised if expectations skyrocket overnight. Don't be surprised if analysts suddenly view the Cowboys as favorites rather than hopeful contenders. Because in the NFL, bold moves create belief. They create momentum. They create fear in opponents. Right now, the league is watching, waiting, wondering how far Dallas is willing to go. If this is the beginning of an aggressive new era for the Cowboys, the rest of the NFC better brace itself. The shockwaves are already being felt. And if the final trigger is pulled, this could be the move that defines the season. One thing is certain. The Dallas Cowboys have everyone's attention. And when America's team decides to make noise, the entire league listens.